Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another day here on the Sunday where we're going to be going through some more matches of the round of 32 for the 4Key Mania World Cup 2023. I am Potassium F here commentating alongside Albion.
Hello everybody! We have an exciting match coming up, Philippines versus Finland, and I'm very excited for it. What about you, Polly?
I'm pretty hyped to see this one. This one, of course, actually, Philippines heavily favored. You would have to say. There's no way around that one. Philippines being seed number 4, I believe. Finland. Let me just do the maths really quick. 29. I think.
Hold on.
Okay. So fairly large gap in terms of the seeding. We'll have to see what Finland can do really on this map pool. A little bit easier than the qualifier map pool for sure. So maybe there is some opportunities, capitalizing on any misses from Philippines. Maybe bringing the accuracy gap a little bit closer than it was in qualifiers. Definitely some potential here.
100%. One thing to consider is that both of these teams, they have a roster that we saw last year as well, except for one player on each team. The Philippines this year having Cub and Finland having Laker. So both of these teams are fairly experienced. They have shown their capabilities in previous years. So perhaps that helps with the nerves, that helps them play a bit better. For Finland, that's not good news, because that means that Philippines is going to be that consistent powerhouse that we know them for. But on the other side, for Philippines, if they make a mistake, Finland does have that experience that they can pull those points out.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of mistakes as well from teams, really strong teams as well throughout this weekend. A lot of the maps, they're definitely harder than last year. So yeah, single misses, massively possible, even on picks that you would say teams would feel relatively comfortable on. So we'll see how this goes. I expect, between these two teams, Philippines, very, very well-rounded, as we know from last year, of course. Finland, also fairly well-rounded. I feel like they might, being the lower seed, maybe Finland tries to go for one of the SVs.
Yeah, and not to be, left behind in the dust here, we do have the Protects already coming out. We see a Rise 2 Protect coming out for the Philippines, and the Protect for Finland is going to be SV2.
Okay, so
Ultra Synergy Matrix.
Yeah, SV. So a bit of a comment about these Protects in general is that although you might see Philippines were number 2 on the SV map in qualifiers, definitely seems very threatening, but at the same time, very different SV map, and SV is one of those maps that's just really unpredictable in general. Like, even though Philippines were extremely good on the SV last week, maybe they're not so comfortable on it this week. Maybe there's a choke that comes out. There's a lot of potential upsets on those maps, so it's a good Protect from Finland. Also, I really like the Protect from Philippines being Little God Channel. That one's a extremely long map compared to the rest of them in the pool, so it's much more consistency based, right? Much more accuracy focused. So single misses from Philippines are not necessarily going to lose them the map there, so they can really flex their accuracy lead. We're going to see will it actually be banned. I have not seen this one being banned yet so far.
Yeah, and then from the other side, for the Philippines, we're going to see Hawatori being banned. So, it's a good thing you pointed out with the accuracy. Actually, in the qualifiers, we did see Finland struggling more on the accuracy qualifier map than any of the other maps. Whilst as practice makes perfect. So, hopefully, we can see them taking their own protects there and making good use of that information that they've gained through the qualifiers to take some points home.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at these bans, specifically the pick ban strategy so far from the Philippines, I actually like this quite a lot. This is something that we don't usually see from most teams, because most teams usually you would just protect your strength, ban your weakness here. Philippines in a kind of position where they don't really have any major strengths or weaknesses, like, relative to each other. So they've gone for kind of what is the map that they're least likely to choke a lead. They protected that one, and they banned the shortest map in the pool, the maximum, the hormone one, which just so happens to also be extremely chokeable, being the technical map.
Yeah, and hopefully we're gonna get a pick here soon. It looks like they are debating whether to go for Shimasha. That would be a play for Boji, Vulpsy, and Forken. We've seen in the qualifiers they're going to be playing all of these rice maps, and then we have the other three players, Sueska Els, Cub. They'll be playing the SVs and the LNs. So it looks like we're going to get Shimasha coming out. So those three players will stay in. For Finland, however, they've changed their roster a couple times during those qualifiers. So they might not feel entirely comfortable on who's going to play what. But I guess only time will tell.
Yeah, I do think both teams have a lot of players that are probably capable of playing this level of Rice map. This is, of course, the speed map here. It's a little bit more consistent in the patterning and lasts a long time as well. So 3 minutes long means that it's going to be mostly accuracy based. So it really just depends who gets the best accuracy on these ones. I will say, though, that this map, there's potential that Finland just ends up being really good at this one, because we didn't really see that much of their of this kind of specific skill set from the qualifiers. More sustained streams. There was stage 7, but obviously that was 250 BPM, not the best indicator of this level of accuracy.
True, and for Finland, I think we're going to see Coast by Camellia here, together with Leica and potentially Fizu. I do think there's a potential for Fizu to join in this roster. They've definitely shown that they can also act. They've shown that, I think, in 4DM in the previous tournaments. So that would give Finland at least some fighting chance against this heavily stacked roster from the Philippines. This map is very fun to play though, so hopefully the players are going to have just as much fun playing it, rather than accidentally losing a point potentially if they get a miss.
Yeah, I like this one as well. And I think Finland can definitely... We've seen a lot of lower-seeded teams actually perform really well on this one. The only thing is, I still think this is a good pick for Philippines, just because, you know, we see the names in particular. I'm looking at Boji and 4Ken. They're now called 7Ken. Both of those players, Vulpsy as well, they all have just extremely strong accuracy. We would expect some ridiculous ratios on a map like this. If they can pull that off here, I think that Philippines definitely should have an accuracy lead, but we'll have to see. So here we go.
Without further ado, yeah, we're going to immediately head into it, sync everything up, and Albania Ilya will be completing the roster for Finland. 3v3, time to shine, do or die time. Good start for Finland, but even better start for the Philippines. They'll be putting ahead a little bit at the start, keeping that 100% on Boji still. It's going to be interesting to see how long he can hold that for.
Oh my god, okay, yeah, you're right. I was impressed by Albania Ilya, because this is a really strong start from them, but yeah, Boji, we'll check back in on Boji a little bit later. But it was a bit of a rough start for Ghost by Camellia, dropping below 99% at the start there, but seems to be recovering actually pretty quickly up to 99.7.
And we do see Boji finally losing the V2 SS. Absolutely incredible. What a mad lad. Keeping it for 350 combo. Looks like Goes by Camellia has been managed to get their accuracy at least above Leica's accuracy now. Ooh. And a miss coming in from Albania Ilya. That's not going to help Finland on this first map.
Yeah, just being thrown off a little bit by the speed streams that were coming in there. Actually, Albania Ilya had such high accuracy before that miss as well. Was actually tying 7Ken. So that's the best accuracy on Finland down with a miss now, and looking across the board, Finland kind of averaging 99.6, 99.7, but Philippines still with Boji on 99.96. I don't know. I don't know. You don't do anything. You can't do anything against that.
No, if you're Finland right now, you're just hoping that on accident Philippines is going to find a miss, but they won't. It's going to be Ghost by Camellia finding a miss, the second miss now for Finland, putting the team in an even larger disadvantage. More than 20,000 points separating both of these teams, and we still have a third of the map remaining, but no sign of weakness on the Filipino side.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing for Finland is that with this accuracy lead, this is actually quite a significant accuracy lead for the Philippines, especially on such a long map. So even if Finland held the full combos still, they would still be relying on at least like 2 misses from Philippines to be able to make up the difference. But now, with three misses, all 3 of the Finland players missing once each, no full combos left versus the 3 full combos on the Philippines with the better accuracy means this is running away a little bit here.
Yeah, and there's even only a combined total of 0.34% accuracy lost on the Philippine side, and that's less than Leica has. This is rough. This is a very rough first pick, but it is the Philippines pick. It is their map. It's their point to win. Finland is going to be picking next, so they can definitely still get back into this. This isn't a lost game. This is only the first map. We still have plenty more to play.
Yeah, for sure. And these are actually pretty nice accuracies actually from Albania and Ilya and Ghost by Camellia in particular there. Without the misses, those have been close to like 990k. But it's, you look at the Philippines team and you can see why this is one of the highest rated teams in the whole tournament, right? 65 300s coming in from Boji with the double S. And this is a team average that I don't think we're going to see almost any team in the entire tournament being able to beat.
Boji, what have you done? 65. That is an incredible score. And now, going from Rice, we will be heading into SV. SV1 being picked. It's not the Protect. It's going to be the other one. New Genes. Finland, I hope you practiced, because I imagine the Philippines have.
Yeah, I think as an underdog team, especially in Finland, it's almost a requirement. Like, you have to be able to practice the SV as much as you can, right?
Yeah, this is one of those things that practice makes perfect. The more you play it, the more you'll be able to get a feel for the rhythms, get a feel for the slow jams, the fast jams, sometimes the teleports. We're going to see a switch out on the Filipino side. Silveska Els and a Paul coming in, and we see Fizu coming in instead of Leica.
Yeah, so as usual, we always expect a lot of switch outs for these SV maps. It just depends really on who's practiced them. But interestingly enough, we don't see Cub coming in for Philippines. The new addition to the roster was brought in for SV, I thought, for the most part. But here, obviously, Philippines have a lot of players that are comfortable with this kind of map. So we'll have to see. This is Finland's pick, of course. This is their chance to be able to get on the board.
Yeah, interesting to note there with Cove. I don't think he also is a big powerhouse, of course, in the LN department. So it's not just the SV, but seeing Vulpsy instead of Cove is definitely interesting here. Potentially, Vulpsy is just that much more confident on this map.
Yeah, getting some word from various sources here. Cub is not online currently, so maybe not just available here. But it should still be okay for Philippines as long as they've had 4 players that practice. Vulpsy with a little bit of an actually Apol as well with a miss. I was going to say Vulpsy with a couple 200s at the start. So far, Finland actually looking very strong on this at the very early parts of the map.
Yeah, and we see Fizu coming out, and what an accuracy that he's still holding. 99.7%. That is incredible. If they can keep that for the remainder of this map, this could very well be a point for Finland. With Apples reaching and gaining accuracy as well, Silveska Els is gaining. Perhaps they just didn't have the start they were looking for. Maybe the start was just not how they had timed it. But
yeah, the start of the map difficult. Is fairly tricky to get the timing right as well, especially that first chord. But now we can actually see the accuracies from Finland starting to drop a little bit. Albania Ilya dropped down to 99.3 just before. Ghost by Camellia dropping down a little bit more. The AC lead, it looks like it's actually in Philippines' favor, just about. It's only that miss, the very early miss from Apol, that's keeping Finland in the lead.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if they're keeping this accuracy for the remainder of this map, whether that one miss from Apol is going to be enough for Finland to take the point. And they'll need to keep the accuracy that they have right now, or try to improve it at least a little bit, because 3,000 points separating these two teams is not a lot.
Yeah, a few 200s actually coming in from Philippines, especially on that earlier slow jam kind of trill. And that's going to keep Finland just in a little bit of a lead, but we can see now already Volpsi is very quick at regaining the ACK once, whenever they drop down. And now Silueska L's all the way up from 99.3 at the beginning of the map, all the way up to 99.7. And oh, this is enough to actually take the lead just a little bit. It looks mostly like L's difference right now.
This is incredibly close, but Ghost like Amelia having dropped below that 99.5% is not helping the Finnish team.
And this part is very easy to drop 200s on as well. The few 200s could decide this map, but it doesn't look like Finland is regaining the accuracy quite fast enough, and now Philippines managing to rectify their earlier mistakes.
Finland in a world of trouble. The map is coming to a close here, and it looks like Philippines will be taking a second point, first break point of the match. Heading into their second pick as well. 10,000 points separating these two teams. 3 full combos on the side of Finland, but the accuracy not there to support it. And Philippines takes map number 2.
Yeah, strong team score from Finland nonetheless, but it is going to just be the accuracy, like you said, the ratio and the 200 count both favoring Philippines despite that one miss coming in. So it is going to be a break point, but I think that was a fairly close shot that Finland had, at least.
Yeah, and that makes me incredibly excited, potentially, to see that SV2, the Protect from Finland, coming up later in this match. Because if we see that one, and it is similar to this, and perhaps the Philippines are going to lose, they are going to bleed, they're going to find that 1 point lost to Finland. But in the overall game of things and state of things, Philippines looking like they're comfortably, at least somewhat comfortably, cruising their way to a victory. Finland trying to stop them, but Lime coming out, the LNs could be tricky.
Well, I think there's a little bit of doubt in what they're picking here. I think Els has changed the pick to Poppy. Potentially. So LN would have been an interesting one to pick, for sure, but I'm not sure what's... Yeah, Els is confirming that they want to pick Poppy instead. I'm not sure what the rules are on this one.
I mean, I think it's going to be up to the referee here to decide whether they want to roll with this or not. If we do see Poppy, it's regardless of which map we're going to see, it's going to be interesting no matter what.
Yeah, but anyway, I feel like no matter what Philippines pick, it's going to be a fairly good pick at this point. They have, obviously, the players for all maps. Hard to really tell because Finland don't particularly have a massive, weakness, you would say, at any particular skill set. We saw their Rice 1 scores were actually fairly decent across the board. And I think their LN should be pretty good at this level as well. They have, players like Lovelin being very strong LN accuracy players as well.
Are we gonna which map are we gonna see? Poppy or Lime?
It's not a real World Cup stream without a good old restart of the client.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the main staples of the World Cup, right? I mean, of any tournament in OSU. Restart of the client is one of the highlights.
Okay, so we're going to be seeing Poppy. This is actually the first time I've seen this one. I'm sure it's been picked in one of the other matches that I've missed, but at least for the ones that I've seen on stream, this has not been picked so far. So an interesting pick to go for right away. Kind of a more like vocal dump style technical pick, which I guess kind of fits in line just ever so slightly with the Rice 1 map that we saw earlier. But this one, yeah, kind of hard to really compare, regardless. I will say though, I think some players have mentioned with this one as well. I think this map is fairly mind blockable as well. But
True.
obviously,
Yeah.
I guess if Philippines are picking it, then none of them have mind blocked it.
Yeah, absolutely true. We do see Fizu most likely coming out of this one. They are one of the more stronger F players on the Finnish roster. And Leica as well, the new addition against once again Boji, Wolfsy, and Seven Ken. This is going to be a strong showing again. If Boji can replicate what they did on that first map, get another 99.9% AC with another 6,500s, this is a lost cause for Finland, an uphill battle. Definitely not a lost cause, but just a massive uphill battle.
Yeah, this is a
We are gonna
shorter
head in.
map. It's a shorter map, so there is potential, you know, for misses to be able to out. As I say that, I think that was real. That was not Klein. I saw 4Ken accidentally had fingers on the wrong keys, it looks like, at the very start there. Could definitely happen.
What happened there. Something definitely happened. It's not looking like it was anything client-side related. So 7Ken starting down on the accuracy, but having that happen that early in the map, right? Only the first 10 nodes shouldn't hurt too much. This miss from Fizu should be much worse, especially now that the entire Philippines team has gotten to that 400 combo count.
Yeah, that was incredibly early, so it doesn't matter really in terms of combo for 4Ken. It's mostly just the accuracy, and the accuracy we can see is rising fairly fast, or 98.7, and actually not too far behind now from Fisu, and that's really, you know, keeping Philippines ahead right now, because Boji, you know, on another one of these performances, Volpsine also holding up an incredible accuracy.
Yeah, and at the same time, Leica and goes by Camellia at that same accuracy that we've seen from them earlier as well, a 99.7 and a 99.5. They're not bad, they just aren't quite there with the Philippines' accuracies. Boji is doing another monster run on this map, not slowing down whatsoever. And 7Ken slowly creeping back up, almost at a 99.2. And Fizu finds yet another miss. That's surely going to put the nail in the coffin, no?
Yeah, that one's a rough miss as well. Now, as you said, 4Ken has actually, despite starting down at like below 90% because of the earlier mishap, actually built up the accuracy so well. 99.4 almost matching the Finland players, and one more miss from Leka coming in towards the end of the map. And this is almost, we can almost consider this 3 full combos from the Philippines.
We can. We definitely can. Those misses right at the end there for Leica and Fizu just completely shut down any hope that this point could still go to them.
37 this time. That's almost 999k. Oh my god.
Boji, stop!
With score V2, that's 1 to 50. If I'm doing a bit of quick maths right now.
It could be. It very well could be. I'm not doing math.
Yeah.
We're not doing maths.
Not bad.
We have the 50,000 points difference already being calculated for us. We're not doing even more math here. We are going to be heading, however, into the next pick for Finland. There's still the SV2 on the table. We still have that as a possibility. Do they want to go for that, or are they fancying their chances within the LN?
Oh, this is interesting, actually. They're going with Voyager, which is the pick that Philippines initially picked just before, until they switched to Poppy.
So that does mean we are going to head into those LNs. Perhaps they like their odds, they like their chances here. But against Silvescales, the player who won OMLN 3, this might be relatively tricky. Although Silvescales is now playing on the Finnish side. Look at that. Maybe there is some hope.
But yeah, Philippines have an extremely scary LN team as well, of course. Not just a Rice team there, but Finland has some very strong players themselves with the LN. Obviously going to be fairly comfortable with this map overall, but the question really just is, can Finland keep close with Philippines' accuracy on this one? Because we can expect high accuracies across the board on the Philippines side.
We very well can, but at the same time, keep in mind, Cub is not here. And I would imagine Cub would be playing this map if they were here. So that does give some room for Finland to potentially take this one home.
Potentially, but at the same time, I look at these 3 players from the Philippines and I'm a little bit scared. Just in general.
Same here. Same here. But, you know, it's always look at the bright side of things.
Actually, wow, all 6 players off to a very nice start in the very early stages of this map. Still yet to see the density kick in, as we're going to be getting into that very shortly now.
Yeah, both teams still holding strong. Apple with a 99.95. Unreal. Hitting all of those releases as well.
Yeah, Albania Ilya actually catching, holding up, very comparable to the Philippines side, but Fisu and Krazy both dropping in accuracy just a little bit down to 99.6 for both of them. And as you said right now, Apol and Sileska Els both at 99.9.
But still no misses on either side. So it's still very much possible. 7ken at that 99.7. Not quite at the same accuracy as their teammates. Here are Fizu and Krazy at 99.5 both. It's not looking good for them.
Yeah, the accuracy is actually very... I think this is a very strong accuracy across the board for Finland in general, but you know, against this kind of accuracy from the Philippines, it's going to take more than a clean miss. I feel like even if Philippines find a miss right now, if it's clean, they'll still be able to maintain a bit of a comfortable lead just from the accuracy alone. I mean, there's not much you can do against 2 99.9 scores.
Yeah, these are some holy scores that are going to be coming in here in a bit. 16,000 points separating these 2 teams currently, and there's going to have to be a miss on the Philippines side or a massive act drop for Finland to be able to take this one. And that would put Philippines, if things stay the way they are currently, Philippines are looking at that match point pick coming up.
Yeah, we've not seen really any fluctuations in the accuracy. It stayed fairly consistent from start to finish. All the players, you know, not really choking, not really doing keeping the consistent accuracy, and that's going to, unfortunately for Finland, favor the Philippines here with, that's a 996k from Els. I missed out on
it's
Apol's
68
score.
points different. 68 points difference between Sileska Els and Apol. They were both at that 996, with Apol being at 99633. That is incredible from both of those players. Fizu and Albania Ilya also playing incredibly well. Albania Ilya getting a 993, only less than 40 points away from 7ken's score.
Yeah, they're really close together. You can see the ratio almost identical. So Albania Ilya definitely playing really well so far, at least in the in this match. But it's just hard, right? Up against a team like the Philippines, if their lowest score is 993k, you know, you can't really fault Finland at all for how these results are going so far. And it looks like Philippines, they're deciding to bring out the Protect right now. Little God Channel coming out the Jump Stream Stamina pick.
Yeah, I mean, Albania Ilya, goes by Camellia, Sizu, Leica, all of them have been playing so well. But it's just against a powerhouse like the Philippines. They're seed 4, and they're seed 4 for a reason. You're not going to be able to just come in and take them down that easily. But they've been playing so incredibly well. Against any other team, they would have had a shot. But Philippines is not opening the door for them.
Yeah, Philippines, one of these monster teams that we're seeing this year, up the very top. Big chances of getting into, you know, podium positions. At least that's going to be the goal for them. You would have to expect this year. But this is going to be their match point. So 4-0. Finland are going to have to look to get one on the board at least right now.
It's do or die time, but this being Philippines Protect, I do not like the odds for Finland.
Yeah, definitely uphill battle on this one. As I said, you know, at the start of the match here, 3.5 minutes long. This one has a lot of note count, which does mean that single misses, they don't mean quite as much as they would in a shorter map. So even if Philippines gets 1 or 2 misses even, if their accuracy is, you know, as strong as it has been against Finland so far in this match, then it feels like the accuracy alone should be able to make up for miss differences plus an extra amount as well.
And that's not all. I mean, the map is 3.5 minutes long. We're not going to be able to declare a winner of this match for another 3.5 minutes. With the accuracies, that's the all-important part here. You're going to have to stay not just consistent in the entire map by not getting any misses, also consistent by keeping that accuracy high, especially in a stamina-draining map like this one. Could very well be, could still be rough. But VOD, they're at it again.
Oh, it's gone back up. I saw VOD.
Yeah,
I saw VOD drop down, but it's rounded up to back to 100.
It's that incredible, and Fizu finds the first drop of the map.
Well, that's an unfortunate drop. Well. Goes by Camellia and Albania Ilya, both with very strong ratios right now, 99.84, just about on both of them. Not too far behind Forken and VOD, for sure. But Boji is, you know, as you can see, doing Boji things once again, 99.99, as we're about a quarter of the way into the map. Fisu missing again, unfortunately. It's going to give the lead even more towards the Philippines.
And another miss, and another miss. They just can't quite find their groove in this map. Can't quite put their foot down and get a combo going. Missing every couple hundred combo. Boji. Yeah, there's no way. There's no shot they're gonna go back to 100%. There's no shot, right?
No. It's too late in the map. There's definitely been too many regular 300s. Yeah, no. But yeah, it's hang on a second. Boji finding a miss. Okay, so Boji is not that good at the game. No, just kidding. These patterns,
terrible play. I mean, you've seen it here.
Okay, you might have seen, like, okay, a lot of jump stream maps typically are fairly, you know, players find fairly comfortable, but these patterns in particular on this map are actually very tricky to be able to hold combo on, let alone to act. So we can, it is very understandable that there is a little bit of discomfort trying to hold in the combo. As we saw another miss just before, it's going to be even further in Philippines' favor. Despite the miss from Boji earlier, it's still the highest act in the lobby, 99.95 with a miss.
I think it might have just been a clean miss. I don't think there was anything other than that miss, but potentially maybe just a second, like a 200 or something, but it was very, very clean. Still had a 99.95. If it weren't for that miss, Boji, this score would have been unrivaled.
And Albania Ilya finding a miss there. Clean miss from Albania Ilya, but it's a miss nonetheless. It means that Philippines is going to extend the lead. And the accuracy is just over time from Albania and Ilya and Goes by Camellia, both dropping just a little bit, still above the 99.7, still very strong accuracies in general, but VOD for Forken as well, both still holding really strong, and that's the last full combo gone from Finland. The stamina just running out towards the end of the map. I mean, it is a stamina pick for a reason. Very hard to focus on, like, so hard on your ratio while also maintaining the stamina for the entire duration of the map. And now the misses are coming out.
Very commendable effort from Finland, but Albania Ilya Goes by Camellia Fizu still finding misses, finding more and more of them, and there is no sign of weakness on the Filipino side, and that will do it. Finland, unfortunately, will be moving to the lower bracket, and Philippines, they will win this match. And what is that score from Boji? 48 300s and just a clean miss, just a singular clean miss. Boji.
But Boji like tied his other teammates' scores despite a miss. That's crazy. Had 995k with a miss is insane. Yeah, absolutely nothing that you can do with that. Philippines definitely deserving to move on to the next stage. Finland with a strong performance themselves, but Just unfortunate with the matchup today. Not much they can realistically do against a team that puts up scores like that. So it is going to be a very strong first match from the Philippines. They're going to be moving forward into the round of 16 winners side. And of course, Finland still in the tournament. They're not eliminated just yet. They get one more shot in the losers bracket, going to have another chance of going a bit further in the tournament.
And they've set some commendable scores. Finland is not one of these teams that you should be taking lightly. If you're going to be facing them in that lower bracket, then make sure to prepare, because they played incredibly well. It's just, you cannot compare against the Philippines. They're deceitful, and deceitful for reasons. They've shown why in this match. Crazy performances from both teams, and that does mean that the Philippines will be facing España, Spain, next week.
Exciting match there, actually. Philippines versus Spain, and Finland going into the losers bracket going to be versing Russia as well. So that one is also going to be some exciting matches here. We were actually seeing a few of these matches being filled as we get later into the week here. Netherlands versus Argentina, also another exciting one there in the losers bracket. And yes, I mean, some of these names down here, we see some scary teams in the losers bracket already.
Yep, and Finland is going to be facing off against Russia. A battle between neighbours. Good luck against both of those teams next week. And next up, in about 23 minutes, we aren't going to be stopping anytime soon today. Still 6 more matches coming up, and the next one will be Japan versus Colombia. An incredible match. Make sure you stay around for that one.
Yep, so come back in about 23 minutes. We're going to be here on this stream covering that one, and until then, we'll see you later.